Casey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Joe Icono with GoBlackKnights.com. How's practice been going for you so far this week?
It's been great. The guys are just working on getting the kinks out. Everybody's trying to play together. Everyone's playing hard. That's the good thing. And it's early, so we can make mistakes, and then it's a matter of fixing them.
Cool. And in the Army football official program, you're listed as a nickelback this year. Kind of a new, right? Army's played nickelbacks before. We're all aware of that, but kind of a new designation in the past. Would you consider that kind of closer to what was considered the Apache position before, or more just like a third corner?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And the guys embrace me, like Chance Keith, Josiah Banks, Hamilton Baker. So we're all in that room together. And it's a great, obviously the brotherhood is an amazing place, but they embraced me. Going from safety to the Apache position is just awesome. So I'm grateful.
And what's the number one thing you're working on with your game over the next couple of weeks leading into opening day? What do you need to get ready for to be ready opening night against Lehigh?
Consistency. Consistency because I want to play just as hard for my brothers. So if I can stay consistent, do my job, do my 111th, that's the most important thing to me.
And last question, the defensive backfield obviously lost a lot of production over the offseason with the graduations of Jabari Moore, Q Hammonds, number of others. But you guys have experience. Like a lot of you, it's not your first rodeo necessarily. Give me a little bit of a feel on how you feel like you guys are going to do based on the fact that you haven't had quite as many game reps, especially early in the season. And what have you learned maybe from some of your past brothers that can kind of help you guys as you get ready for game one?
It's great to learn from guys like Jabari. I remember my freshman year, Marquell Broughton was here, a tremendous leader. Q Hammonds played his tail off all year last year, and then Max DiDomenico is the captain, of course, and he is coach on the field, as I would like to call it. So learning from those guys, it's great. It just makes the game easier, and once you watch it in front of yourself, it's just easy to take after that.
Thanks, Casey.
Sir.
Oh, hey, Casey. Ken Kreitzer with Cam Vets Media. How are you tonight?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good. Hey, last year you got in a fair amount. You got in 12 games, and you had big days against Syracuse, 5 tackles, 6 tackles at LSU. You were in on. What is it like for you to be able to perform on those big days, those big stages?
It's just preparation. And half of that goes to my teammates. Like I said before, everyone's doing their 111th. And I just happen to make the plays, but I wouldn't make those plays if my teammates weren't there doing their job. So it's all one piece to a puzzle. So that's all I got to say about that.
Very good. And describe the nickel back for some of the fans who may not be familiar with the position. It's there to, third defensive back, but you're in there to stop the run just as much. Tell us about some of the responsibilities of that position.
Yes, sir. Basically, so Jimmy Charla last year. I mean, he's a tremendous. Now we know he's on the New York Giants. Just doing what he's doing. Kind of watch the Jets. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, Jimmy. Yeah. So just taking after him. So the same position as Jimmy. So just going in and trying to fill his shoes. Watching his film, watching his tape, and then also Malcolm Morrison that came before him. So just the same deal.
And final question is just what'd you do this summer, some of your training, and you've got your branching into the U.S. Army next year. What is an area of the Army that you're interested in?
Field artillery, sir. I just went to CTLT this summer. We went to Fort Drum. All the rising cows went, and field artillery kind of caught my eye. And then the more I got into it, I just fell in love with it. So that's what I'm looking forward to, branching there.
And you're going to be a junior this year. That's correct?
Yes, sir.
That's great. Well, thank you. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hey, Casey, Ken McMillan from the Times Herald Record.
How are you, sir?
Good, thank you. Casey, you just mentioned Jimmy and Jersey football. You come from Jersey, so were you a Jets or a Giants guy?
I'm neither, sir. So I'm a Packers fan. I grew up a Jets fan because of LaDainian Tomlinson, but I was young. And then I kind of was watching the Giants actually play the Packers in an NFC divisional round. And I was like, man, I love Aaron Rodgers. So I just always been a Packers fan ever since.
Were you a college football fan as well?
Yes, sir.
Who was it?
I think every little kid, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but everybody loved the Oregon Ducks. But so
Kind of the fancy helmets, the fancy
everybody loved the uniforms. Yes, sir.
sure. Why West Point?
I chose West Point because obviously the opportunities and my commitment to serve. I think serving is the most respectable thing you could do as a person, and serving your country. And the people you work with that I've met here are the best people I've ever met. I've met my best friends that I feel like I've known for the rest of my whole life, and then I'm going to know them for the rest of my life. They're my brothers. And the biggest thing was just that brotherhood and the camaraderie that comes with being on at West Point and in the big Army.
One of your teammates mentioned the other day about just biding time. So you didn't play as a freshman, you got in there as a sophomore. Now you have a chance to make a real impact as a junior here. What's that timeline like? Are you happy with the process or?
I think you cut out. But yeah, just to answer your first part of your question, I think you cut out. But yeah, I am happy because spending that year on scout team, I was making the offense better and also making myself better. I'm going against the starting offense, running the triple, and of course we play our Navy and Air Force, so it gives you practice there, and then it kind of goes into that spring ball where you kind of can feel it out. Now you got to roll on the team other than on the scout team, and it's just I'm happy with what happened in my career here so far.
What were the most valuable lessons you've learned as an Army football player?
Humility. You obviously don't know. There's so many different types of people, different types of walks of life on this team. And to hear that you might be struggling with something that isn't even close to as big as it seems to other people, and you could just talk to people, it's just awesome. So I just learned the thing of humility, and you kind of see all your teammates winning on the field and doing their thing, and you love it. I mean, it's just a happy ending every time, even if you're not on the field.
What was it like going 6-6 the last 2 years and with streaks at the end of positivity?
We wish we started faster. And I mean, we went back the end of the season. It was good, but we're not satisfied, and we just want to do better. And now we're in a conference, and we want to go to that conference championship game.
And just talk about CDLT, as you mentioned before. What's that summer experience like? We always hear about how difficult it is for the incoming freshmen and sophomores. What's it like, though, for the junior class?
It's a great experience. I think CTLT teaches you what the big Army is actually all about, like the daily operations through the day to day. And we need that because you get so caught up in the cadet life and you don't really see what actual Army life is like. So Monday through Friday, we were going, hanging out with our LTs, going through their day to day, learning from them, learning the terminologies. There's so many acronyms in the Army that you got to learn. They were teaching us that stuff. So it was just an overall great experience. You're with your brothers every day. Good. And also a lot of team bonding. There's a lot of opportunities for team bonding, but also learning as well.
Thanks, Casey. Appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, sir.